Hi everyone, this is Alma coming to you from Long Beach, California. Today is Friday, March 26th of the year 2021, and this is going to be FlossTube number 54. So as always, I want to welcome you all. Welcome back to all my current viewers and subscribers. Thank you, as always, for your continuing support. And I do want to say a special thank you to everybody that left me congratulations and well wishes on my last FlossTube update, which marked the 2,000 subscriber milestone here on YouTube. It wouldn't have happened if it weren't for you all. So thank you for sticking with me all this time. And if this is your first time visiting, then welcome. This is a channel where I talk about all the cross-stitch projects that I have on the go, most of which are full coverage. So if that sounds like something of interest, then I invite you to go ahead and settle in. Grab a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, and I hope that you enjoy your stay enough to consider subscribing, sticking around, and continuing to follow me on my stitching journey. I do hope that everybody's doing well. I always enjoy, sometimes on the comments people will let me know like, oh, thank you, I'm doing well, I was stitching on this when I was watching your video, and I always find that so fascinating, and it's really nice to know. So I hope that everybody's doing well, everything's good on our end, just keeping busy. I haven't been posting on Instagram as much as I normally do. I've been stitching, it's just every time I think about posting, I end up not having good lighting, or just something always comes along, and I'll be like, oh, I'll do it tomorrow, and then that never happens. But I have been stitching, so without further ado, let's get to it. The first thing I want to show you is my Hogwarts Castle piece. This is Hogwarts Castle at Night by the Stitching Girl. And I started this back in June of 2018. So it is my oldest WIP, and I would like to have it finished before July 31st because that is Harry Potter's birthday. And this is what I have so far. So in order to reach the goal, the deadline of finishing it on or before July 31st, I would need to do 1,800 stitches per week. And so far so good. This month of March I was able to keep at it. I was able to do at least 2,000 stitches. Just because of different challenges that I was doing, it just ended up working out that I could do 2,000 stitches as opposed to the 1,800. I still have to complete this week's, so this weekend I'll still keep going on it, but this is what I have so far. And so last time I showed you it, and that's the reason why I wanted to take off the bottom portion of the Q-snap. Last time I showed you this, I was working down here. So as you can see, I think I had like 2 of these pillars done, the black portions. So as you can see, it kept going a little bit further, and then I just filled in all of the black right there. I also continue to fill in the colored areas, all the light that comes in through the windows. So the goal is, I also finished this as well. So this entire bit right here is finally complete. Again, barring these little windows of light. But the goal or plan is to continue working on this tower right here, finish that up so I can move the Q-snap a little bit further out, and I can stitch on a new section of black. Right, so down here, because this entire chunk, so these bottom rows right here that go to the end of the design, that's all gonna be black, like solid black. I have over 17,000 stitches left to do in black alone, and most of it is gonna be down in the corner right there. So I have some very interesting time ahead to work on this, which is why I try to balance stitching on the black and stitching on everything else. But yeah, I think this is all new to you guys, so that's yeah, so that's also what I've been working on. Again, most of the stitches that I've done are on the black. So actually I'm gonna leave it off, so because I'm gonna be recording the video in Spanish, so I might as well just leave it off. Go ahead and just set it down here. And I'll put this to the side as well. So that's one. I hope to be able to continue to work on it and hopefully find some time to work on something else, like my Wonder Woman piece. This is a Tilton Crafts chart based on Daniel Cordick's artwork. I started this in November of 2019, and I'm using this for a SAL, Superhero Saturday SAL. I blanked out on that. I had it on the tip of the tongue, and then it just poof, it went away as soon as I wanted to say it. It's Superhero Saturday SAL. It was started by Leanne of Leanne Stitches. So I'm trying to join her. So I'll go ahead and keep working on her tomorrow. So far I've done 1,500 stitches. So in the month of March I was able to do 1,500 stitches, most of which are in this section right here. I did 500 last week and then 1,000 this week, which I used for the magical stitches task. And I did start filling in some of the colors over here too. So in case you guys can't tell, this is the light section right here. The light that's like behind her. So this is the hair, which is kind of exciting. I didn't realize I was going to start stitching on her as soon as I have. But I did find a mistake, which made me very sad, but I'll work through it. So this little diagonal that's here, I don't know if you can see it, of the stitches, the light peach stitches. That diagonal has 3 stitches. It should have only been 2. So because I added an extra stitch like diagonally, and that stitch was the starting point, the starting point for this entire area, this entire thing is off by 2 stitches. So I'm gonna have to get a little bit creative. Luckily it's just the hair, so it's not like it was the face. Knock on wood, I do something like that, right? But hopefully I can go ahead and just fudge around it, make it work. But you know, it's not a good feeling when you find mistakes. And again, I didn't notice it until I was pretty much done with those 1,500 stitches. So that's another piece. And the next one that I want to show you, put this to the side, is my Heaven and Earth Designs chart. This is the Eternal Promise by Matt Stewart, inspired by the Lord of the Rings characters, Arwen and Aragorn. This is going to be for my sister when I finish it eventually. I started it on our birthday. I say our because she's my fraternal twin. And this used to be my focus piece before this month. So I worked on this pretty well, actually, considering I only had like 1,500 stitches done, and I now have like 8,000 something. This is what I have so far. I didn't work on this too much. I did use it for the Stitch With Me that I filmed last weekend. You're more than welcome to watch it if you feel so inclined, if you enjoy those kind of videos. But for the most part, I just worked on this corner right here, just filling in the background. And I'll try to keep working on this pretty regularly. I may do one of the monthly tasks or the monthly battle challenge on magical stitches, where you can stitch either 500, 1,000 or 1,500 stitch increments. So I may do like a 500 mark on this every month so that it gets some progress, because I don't want it to fall behind either, and I do enjoy stitching on it a lot. Oops, there goes What is this? Oh, it's my Frogger. Okay. Okay. I'll go ahead and show you guys it since since it's begging for attention. So this is a needle minder that I got from Vicky over at Stitch and Button here on FlossTube and on Instagram. She has a Facebook group where she sells these. So she made this needle minder / Frogger. So it has like a needle attached at the end. So the magnet, you're gonna just stick it to the magnet on the back and that's where it stays put. But it wasn't playing nice. But it's nice, you know, maybe not for the 25 count because it's a bit small, but if you're using like 14 count, 16 count, and your needle is threaded and you don't want to unthread your needle to frog, you can use this. It's great. Okay. I'll just put this to the side. I'll deal with it later. Next one I'll have to show you here on my tablet because I don't have the product image printed. But it's also one of my regular pieces. I'm sure if you've seen my videos then you'll have seen this piece a lot because this is going to be for a friend of mine that is having a baby mid-May. And her entire nursery is going to be Winnie the Pooh themed. So I decided to go ahead and stitch this for her and make it a birth announcement. This is Winnie the Pooh by Hornswoggle Store on Etsy. So what I'll do is I added some fabric allowance here on the bottom. You don't stitch the border is not there. But I'll go ahead and add like the birthday information at the bottom with the name, date, and the weight. And I'm also using my own colors for this. I just decided to make it a de-stash piece and just use whatever I had available. And this is what I have so far. So Winnie Pooh is finished, and so is his side of the background. I've been playing around with half stitches and full stitches. So the sky is all half stitched. Even the bush here is half stitched. It's just I think I did 4 strands for that one. So it's just really thick back stitch, but I think it worked for the kind of texture that the picture has because it's like almost watercolor with like hash. There's a word for it. I remember there's a word for that kind of technique. But the plan is to do because there's a bit of grass here at the bottom. That's gonna be all half stitched as well because it's grass. I figured blades of grass are just sticks, right? So that'll work for half stitch. And then I just need to finish that trunk, which is gonna be it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be a lot of the same colors. And then I just have to do piglet. I say it's still a lot of stitching. I always say this, I have to get cracking on this. I feel like next month this is gonna be major focus. I don't particularly, this isn't Pattern Keeper compatible, so I don't particularly like to count stitches on this, but I may just have to do it because otherwise it's not gonna get finished on time. I mean on time. Obviously I still need to wait until the baby's born to be able to finish it, but still I want to have it finished and then just add that real quick and be able to give it to her. And we'll see. The next one I also need to show you here on the tablet. This one is Pattern Keeper compatible. It is also a newer piece. I started it, well, not as new as Winnie the Pooh, but I did start it in November when everybody was starting a lot of different things in anticipation of not being able to start stuff on during this year. Anyways, this is it. This is my Cinderella WIP that I got on Etsy. And I used this, so I showed it to you on my last update, and I added another 500 stitches to her, which you can't even tell too much. It's mostly here. It's because it's like a darker shade, like lighter a lighter shade of blue that's on the top. So I added that color, and then I kept going on this side as well. I meant to keep going on her. I meant to finish. I may still do, because I think I only have like 800 stitches left on her, so I may stitch on her for the remainder of March, because I'm using her for one of the history events from Full Coverage Fanatics. I'm using her for one of those dates. It was 1790 was when the first shoelace was invented. Yes, I feel like that was it. Shoelace was invented, so you have to stitch on something that has to do with shoes, and the design has the glass slipper on it, which, I mean, Cinderella's all about the glass slipper, right? It's a very big part of the of the story. So I may go ahead and keep going to get those last stitches done, and I can just go ahead and knock out another one of those dates. It's been a great event. That's also what I've been using Hogwarts for, so I can get those big stitch counts. I think overall I've done like 6 or 7 dates in total, so I'm trying to get a couple more in before the end of the month, but we'll see. Oh, also today is so speaking of Full Coverage Fanatics, today is Kim Hollenbach's birthday. Happy birthday, Kim. No, she's one of the admins. She's one of the wonderful admins from Full Coverage Fanatics. So if you're watching this, I hope you have a nice birthday. You're probably not going to see this until, you know, afterwards, but happy birthday. Okay, so yeah, so Full Coverage Fanatics events was very, very helpful. I'm looking forward to going back to my regular WIPs, and by regular I mean my non-full coverage, because of that event I was focusing on pretty much all full coverage. And even though I wanted to get some of my non-full coverage projects finished this month, it didn't happen because I didn't want to touch them. I was like, nope, I'm doing this event, I want to focus on this event, and that's it. So hopefully in April I'll go ahead and get those done. I had originally intended to finish at least one project, one WIP a month, and I didn't finish anything in March, so hopefully I can make up for it in April. The last piece I want to show you is another one that I'm working on throughout the entire year. This is Flowers of the Alphabet by Lemonada on Etsy. And I'm using this for a year-round event in Semi-Sane Stitchers called Alpha My Bet, where you pick a piece that has an alphabet one way or another. It can be a sampler, it can be something like this where they have, you know, a motif or something for each letter, or just, you know, as long as there's an alphabet somewhere in there, you can use it. And we switch letters every 2 weeks. And I'm falling a little bit behind. Well, not really. Today we're supposed to switch to the next letter, and I haven't even stitched on on the letter that we were supposed to stitch. It was supposed to be F is for foxglove, I think is the name of the flower, and there's no flower, so I can't even show you it. I did keep going a little bit more on the daisy, and I'm actually using, I don't know if you will be able to tell, but I'm actually using blended colors for that flower, because daisies, at least the ones that are not daisies, these are daisies. E is for echinacea. I don't know how do you say that. I don't know. I'm just gonna go with echinacea. I don't know exactly how you pronounce it, but they're always this, it's a blend of like purple and pink, right? And it has like a hint of blue in there, so I didn't have the exact shade that I wanted in my stash, so I just decided to blend colors, and it looks like it'll work okay. I like, at least this color turned out fine, so I feel like it'll look fine. But I do have to keep going because we've moved on to the next letter, which is G is for gardenias. So yeah, so at least I'll get the first row done. I'll go ahead and try to, again, I didn't want to focus on anything that wasn't full coverage this month, so I may go ahead and just keep going. Use some penalty stitches in enchanted stitching and just keep going on this. Another thing that didn't get touched this month at all were my WIP Go pieces. Even though one of them was full coverage, I ended up not stitching on it. I may do it still, because we still have a few days left in March, but I don't know. I think I'll just go ahead and do them in April. Today's the 26th, so the new numbers are coming for WIP Go. So I'll just go ahead and wait for that, and then make big plans. But that's all that I wanted to show you. I feel like I made a lot of plans that didn't make it through, because again, the full coverage event just kind of took over everything. I hope to be able to finish at least 2 WIPs. So the WIPs that I want to finish this month are my Horde vlog from World of Warcraft, and the Flowers of the Galaxy project that I started a while ago, and I don't know, I worked on it pretty good, and then that's it. Or pretty well, I should have said pretty well. And then that's it. I kind of just set it to the side. But I don't have too many stitches left to do on that one. I have under 4,000 stitches left to do. So if I do 1,000 a week, I say like it's the easiest thing in the world, but school happens. But I do have spring break. I do have spring break coming up, first week of April. So not this week, but the following week. I'm very excited for it. So who knows? Maybe I'll have a little bit more time, and I'll be able to get some finishes in. Oh, that'd be nice. Get it finished in during spring break. But yeah, that's it. That's all I wanted to show you. I do have a little bit of stats, numbers. So in order, if this is your first time visiting, then at the end of every month, in order to make sure that I'm keeping up with my goals that I set for the year, I sit down and I crack the numbers. I check how many stitches I need to do in order to reach the goal, and then I determine how many stitches I need to do per week. So as I kind of mentioned that with Hogwarts. With Hogwarts, I still need to keep at it. I need to do 1,800 stitches per week in order to finish it before the end of July. For the Horde flag, if I wanted to finish the Horde flag by the end of April, I would need to do 550 stitches per week. And another piece that I'm going to try to finish, I may just finish the cross stitch portion in April, is Bilbo's home. For Bilbo, I would need to do 1,200 stitches per week though, most of which I have stitched though, so I don't think it'll be too bad. Fingers crossed. And then Flowers of the Galaxy, if I were to want to finish it before the end of the year, I would only need to do 100 stitches per week. I feel like, again, I mentioned 4,000 stitches, just under 4,000 stitches left to do. So 1,000 stitches a week. I don't know, because I still have Bilbo. I say all these numbers and then just reality check Alma. You've been stitching less since you started school now, and you have all these big goals, right? Another one that I'm still keeping track of is my Fame Fairy, which I have right here. I haven't stitched on her, but I'll go ahead and show you her so you know which one I'm talking about. This is Mini Midnight Stroll. This is also a big focus piece for the year, because this will also be a gift. For this one, in order to reach the goal that I set myself, I think it was like 55,000 stitches. I forget what my goal is, which is ironic, but in order to reach whatever goal I set myself, pretty sure it was 55k. or maybe not, I don't know, but I have to stitch 850 stitches per week in order to keep it. And then for another one of my minis from Haid, mini 1, I need to do 1200 stitches per week. I think for that one I did want to have a finish because that's my second oldest WIP. So I feel like for that one I did want to have a finish. So 1200 stitches a week. I haven't really touched it though. I think I may have stitched on it in January, but I haven't really picked it up much. And then the last one that I want to work on, we are having a villains event in I believe it was Semi-Saint Stitchers. I'll have to double check, but we just have to stitch on anything that has to do with villains one way or another. Superhero villains, Disney villains, any villains. So of course I picked my Disney villain ladies piece, where I have Maleficent, Ursula, Cruella, and the Evil Queen. And for that one, in order to finish at least the first part, which is the Evil Queen, I only need to do 150 stitches a week. And there's no time limit on this on this event, so I can just keep going on her. So I'll try to stitch on her more regularly in order to participate in that event. But yeah, so those are all the plans that I'm going to say for now. Because I feel like if I keep saying all these, they'll just change. They'll just change. I don't have too much time, or as much time as I once did. So yeah, so I'm not gonna say anything else. And we'll see if I'm inspired to work on something else, then I'll just adjust. But Harry Potter or Hogwarts Castle is really the main focus right now. So if that means shorter videos where I only show 2 or 3 WIPs because Hogwarts takes up so much of my time, so be it. I hope you don't mind. But that means a finish, right? But yeah, so I hope that everybody has a good weekend, a nice relaxing weekend. I hope you guys have a productive week. Thank you for joining me today. If you have any questions about anything you saw today, I always post the links to the projects down below if they're still available. I think Cinderella and Hogwarts Castle aren't available anymore. Sorry, Joni. Hi, Joni. Joni's a friend of mine. She says she's tired of me saying the Hogwarts is not available anymore. But I feel like if I don't say it, then somebody always asks. Anyways, and I don't know if I don't know if I said that already, because I have tried to film this a couple of times now. But yeah, again, anything you want to ask me, I'm always available. You can always leave a comment down below or reach out to me via Instagram. And yeah, again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Take care, guys. Bye.